Hello everybody, welcome back. Good morning. So we had the pullback over Sunday evening into Sunday night. We had the bounce now, which is taking place from this horizontal. So this horizontal is like a relatively new one. I don't think it's rock solid or super sturdy. It corresponds to a lot of the supports that existed around this area, and then obviously the breakdown, and then some more supports. And so it does exist. It's a real thing. Although I'm not like a big fanboy of it, I'm not really so sure that it's going to be able to hold. But we're here for now, and there has been a bit of a response to it. So well, fingers crossed, really. And it is fingers crossed because now is the time where I sort of scour the market for certain long positions, because normally Sunday has a bit of a sell-off. It's kind of normal. I think for the most part, markets are closed over the weekend, and then markets slowly start to open Sunday night into Monday morning. And especially if you're having a bit of a risk-off scenario like it would appear at the moment, whatever profit has been made, if any at all, it's probably best to take that on Sunday, waiting for the Monday. And so here we are on a Monday, and this is where you sort of go. It's like going to a car boot sale. Walking around to see if there's anything, any opportunities, and there is. I mean, we did the live stream last night. There was a few. There's one which I'm going to show you in a minute, which somebody brought to the channel, which I was quite. This is the beauty of having a community, a live stream community. There's always stuff being brought to me that I would never have looked at myself. We'll have a look at it now, actually, 'cause I am quite interested in it. I just want to see if it's actually still presenting in a bullish way. Well, actually, it's more bullish than I expected. We were looking at this yesterday, and we were waiting to see if it was going to come down to the box. It may still come to the box. I mean, it's only 10 to 7. I'll keep my eyes peeled on this one. So Uni basically has a golden cross on the 4 hourlies, giving you the bottom area of this portion at 640 and the top area is 680, which is basically formed a box of support. It's also the 20 moving average and the 21 exponential. But for fun, it decided to bounce before that. Anyway, we'll move on from that. It's not important. The main thing is that Bitcoin is seeming to have some support around this area. Ethereum is also responding because Bitcoin's responding. It's not really doing anything of its own. There are bullish divergence reads on both 4 hourly and daily, but as far as the support is concerned, it's just come quite close to the 3,000. So I'm all up for this, right? I'm up for positions on this. I'm up for positions on Litecoin. I might as well try a position at Uni. I'm up for positions across the board just generally. My strategy at this very moment is a futures strategy. I still think that there's a very good chance of an alt season now, if not, right this very moment in time, having the low being put in. It's very hard to find the exact lows on anything, especially when the markets are being so panic-ridden, let's say. Lots of people deciding that they've had enough and leaving the market. I've still got a good 85% of all my hodls still in play, but I took about 15%, and that's a rough figure, liquidated that, turned it into cash, used that cash into futures, and that's basically what I've been doing over this last week. Futures trading, scalpy longs, with a couple of longs that are still actually in play. And that's working out okay. Now, the money that I'll be making out of that, if the market does decide that it wants to start making higher highs, higher lows, even though it's just on a 4 hourly, then I'll put that back into the tokens that I sold. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, and then I will sell that back up in the form of spot. Just because, like I was saying yesterday, it can be a bit of a lazy trader, and spot is definitely for me less risk, especially if I'm relatively confident that there's going to be an uptrend. At the moment, I'm not convinced of it, but I'll show you a few things. So the dominance chart. So the dominance chart continues to break down. I was showing this on the live stream last night. This is my general expectation at the moment. This is the general expectation. I know that is a lot. We got this one. We sort of assumed that there was going to be a pullback on the dominance chart from this kind of peak. We got that. Now I feel like there's going to be a pullback from this area, which is a Bollinger Band center, 20 and a 21 exponential on the weekly for the dominance chart, so that's bearish. We've had 8 weeks in a row leading into that, so it's only fair that we get a rejection. We've also got death crosses here on the daily. We've moved up into that. We had the big wick here, but then the candle bodies here, and then candle bodies on the box, and now we're below all moving averages, continuing to fall down. So again, kind of bearish on the daily. And the 4 hour has just got fresh death cross, and yesterday we pushed into it, and now we're rejecting, and we're kind of looking like we're going to melt down. So I'll take all of that as it is and expect altcoins to outperform. One last thing that I'll show you, which is again, it's just anecdotal. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I am expecting altcoins to rise. So we looked at this yesterday, and I thought I might as well bring it to your attention. So the Ichimoku cloud gives trend signals and pump signals, as well as supports and resistances. At the moment, what we've got on the XRP to BTC is a trend signal. So what that is you've got the conversion baseline took place here, which is above the cloud. This big break in the cloud here that took place above the cloud. Price action is also above the cloud, and this cheeky span here is above the price action. Doesn't need to be above the cloud for a trend to form. So what we've got is a trend signal on XRP to BTC's daily pair, which is one of the better ones to have. It's probably the best time frame to have one of these setups on, and we've got it. And not only that, but we're pushing into resistance, so we don't have to pump for too long to be a clear breakout. We've got the 200 simple and exponential death cross retest here, which is basically what we're struggling with at the moment. A little bit higher, 2,435, get the horizontal, and then just a little bit higher than that, you just need to reclaim 2,500, and you're above the 20 moving average, which is basically trending up still as well. So XRP looks really good now for the trend to continue, and actually for the weekly to make its way up to 3,300 sats and maybe beyond that. With that in mind, you would expect all of XRP's ugly little sisters to rise. You've got XLM, USDT. This usually just moves through association with XRP. We've got even Algo, which I think is probably going to be the more explosive of the lot, which should be moving also, because again it roughly represents the same type of crypto, whatever you want to call it, the same sort of utility. Decentralized ledger, or whatever they want to call them. And also, I believe, I don't know if this is true, I was told by a patron last night, I need to check it, but I also believe, from what I understand, ETFs are being launched this week or next for XRP, which can obviously cause a bit of volatility, down as well as up, but it should only feed the monsters, it should only feed the beast. So we've basically got XRP presenting in a bullish way already. Versus its Bitcoin pair, we've got the dominance chart looking like it wants to continue to move down, which is good for altcoins. And we've got Bitcoin sitting at a horizontal support, although it's not one that I'm a big fan of, it is still doing it, with bullish divergence on 4 hourly, daily and weekly. And so with all of that combined, it's probably another one of those weeks where I do expect it to move up, and we'll just have to wait and see if it is. Again, just because it looks like it is, and it suggests that it is, there's no 100% guarantee that it will. But this is the game we play, isn't it? This is the risks. These are the risks that we take. So I'm gonna finish the rest of my coffee, take some positions, sit back, watch and wait, and see how the day and the week unfolds. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.